The evening sky over Maplewood glowed with soft orange and pink, casting long shadows across the quiet streets. Emma Carter sat on the porch swing of her new house, a mug of tea warming her hands. Her mother had been busy with work all day, and now she had gone out to pick up groceries, leaving the house unusually silent. Emma's stepbrother Liam wandered somewhere inside, and she wondered what he was doing. They hadn't really talked much since their families merged 6 months ago, but somehow she felt tonight might be different. She sipped her tea, watching the wind move the leaves in the trees, when suddenly Liam appeared on the porch, leaning awkwardly against the railing. Something in his posture immediately caught her attention. His hesitation, the slight shake of his hands, and the way he avoided eye contact. He looked nervous, more than she had ever seen him. "Hey, Emma, can I talk to you about something?" he asked softly, almost in a whisper. Emma set down her mug, her curiosity immediately piqued. "Of course. What's up?" He ran a hand through his hair and shifted uncomfortably. "It's kind of personal, and I don't really know who else to ask. I mean, I can't really tell my friends and my mom. I don't want her worrying." Emma felt a pang of sympathy. She remembered what it was like to have something heavy on your mind and not know who to trust. "You can tell me anything, Liam. Seriously, I won't judge and I won't tell anyone." Liam hesitated, then swallowed hard. "Okay, I'll try. It's about me, about something I can't really control, and it's affecting my confidence, I feel. Less than everyone else sometimes." Emma's heart softened. She didn't know what it was yet, but she knew it was serious. She leaned slightly forward, her hand brushing his lightly. "You don't have to feel embarrassed around me. I'll help if I can. That's what family's for, right?" He looked at her, surprise in his eyes, as if he hadn't expected such kindness. You would, even though we're step-siblings and all." Emma smiled softly. "Especially because we're step-siblings. Family isn't just about blood, it's about trust. And I trust you, Liam. You can trust me, too." For a moment, silence hung between them, broken only by the gentle rustle of the trees and the distant hum of traffic. Liam finally exhaled, a shaky breath that seemed to carry months of worry. "It's about my height," he admitted quietly, staring at his shoes. "I've always been on the shorter side, but lately, it feels worse. People stare sometimes, and I feel wrong, like I don't belong. I know it sounds silly, but it's been eating at me." Emma's chest tightened. She hadn't expected that. But she understood. Everyone had insecurities, and some were harder to face than others. She gave his hand a gentle squeeze. "Liam, I get it. I really do. Feeling different is hard, especially when everyone else seems confident, taller, or just perfect. But you're not wrong. You're not less than anyone else." A faint laugh escaped him, shaky and nervous. "You sound like Mom." Emma chuckled, shaking her head. "Maybe your mom is right sometimes. And maybe you just need someone to remind you of that." He looked up at her, eyes glistening slightly, a mixture of relief and uncertainty. I don't know what to do. I feel stuck, like I can't fix this. And it's embarrassing to even talk about." Emma nodded, her own feelings of empathy rising. "Then let's take it one step at a time. We'll figure it out together. You're not alone in this. You have me, and I'll support you. Always." For the first time in a long while, Liam let out a small, genuine smile. "Thanks, Emma. I don't know what I'd do without you." The sun dipped lower, the sky turning a soft purple, and the porch was bathed in a calm, serene light. They sat together, neither speaking for a few moments, but the silence was comfortable. There was an understanding forming a quiet bond that went beyond the usual step-sibling relationship. They both realized something important. Trust could be built slowly. And vulnerability could bring people closer in ways they hadn't expected. Liam took another deep breath. "I don't want to hide anymore. Want to face this feeling of being different. But I don't know how. I don't want to fail." Emma smiled reassuringly. "You won't fail. You're braver than you think, and I'll be here every step of the way. Step by step, We'll figure it out together." He laughed lightly, a nervous sound, but it was freer than before. "You make it sound easier than I thought, I guess. Having someone who believes in you makes a big difference." Emma nodded. "It does. Everyone needs someone to remind them they're not alone. That's what I'm here for." There was a long pause. Then Liam spoke, quieter this time. I think I might even start to feel better. Just knowing you're here, knowing someone cares." Kema's heart swelled. She realized how much this moment mattered, not just for Liam, but for her, too. It wasn't just about his confidence or his height. It was about connection, about two people learning to understand and trust each other in a new family dynamic. Then, a small, teasing smile appeared on her face. We could start with something small. Maybe the school dance is coming up, and it could be a chance to practice confidence just a little bit." Liam's eyes widened in mock horror. The school dance? Terrifying. "But maybe, if you're with me?" Emma laughed softly. "Of course I'll be with you. You're not doing this alone." They sat together in the soft evening light. And Emma noticed how Liam's shoulders seemed to relax, how his eyes sparkled with a hint of hope. For the first time in months, maybe even years. He seemed to believe in himself just a little. "Emma," he said finally, his voice quieter, more earnest. I feel like I can trust you with anything. And I mean that. I've never really had someone like that before." Her heart ached with empathy and a strange new warmth. "And you always can, Liam. That's what family is for." The air between them was calm, yet charged with the quiet thrill of new understanding. There were feelings neither fully acknowledged, yet soft emotions that hovered between family. Friendship and something tenderly new. Neither spoke it aloud, but both felt it. As darkness fell over Maplewood and the streetlights flickered on, they remained on the porch, side by side. Emma realized that this evening, this conversation, had shifted something fundamental. Liam's struggle was no longer his alone, and her own feelings, protective, caring, and quietly affectionate, were growing in ways she hadn't expected. The night held them in quiet reflection, the world around them fading into soft shadows. They didn't need words for everything. Trust had been built, and something fragile but real had begun to form. Both new challenges were ahead: social pressures, insecurities, and the complexity of their new family. But for now, they had each other. Emma reached out and gave his hand a final squeeze. "We'll get through this together, no matter what." Liam nodded, a faint smile on his lips. Together. The evening ended with that quiet promise. The soft understanding that this was the start of something bigger, something that would challenge them, bring them closer, and teach them about vulnerability, courage, and the bonds of family. But it was only the beginning, and neither knew exactly where this path would lead. And with that, the story of trust, connection, and the first steps toward overcoming insecurities had begun. Liam had taken the first step in facing his problem, and Emma had taken the first step in becoming someone he could truly rely on. To be continued. The night of the school dance arrived faster than either of them expected, and Maplewood High was buzzing with energy. The gym filled with laughter, music, and the soft glow of string lights. Emma Carter could feel Liam's nervous energy radiating as they got ready. She had insisted on helping him pick his outfit, not to control him, but to guide him, to remind him that he could look confident and feel good about himself. She had chosen a crisp shirt and a jacket that perfectly matched his style, subtle yet sharp, something that made him feel taller, stronger, more himself. "Okay," she said, smoothing his hair back gently. "You look amazing. Seriously, own it." Liam hesitated, looking at his reflection in the mirror. "You really think so?" Emma smiled warmly. "I know so. You're going to surprise yourself tonight." He let out a nervous laugh, the kind that still carried his insecurities but now had a hint of excitement. "I hope so. I've never done this before. Going out like this, feeling noticed." Emma reached out and gave his shoulder a reassuring squeeze. Then today's the perfect start. No pressure, just small steps. I'll be right here. The drive to the school was quiet, the car humming gently as they drove through the streets of Maplewood. Liam's hands rested tensely on his lap, fingers fidgeting. Emma watched him out of the corner of her eye, wanting to comfort him, but also wanting to let him build confidence on his own. She remembered the conversation they had on the porch weeks ago. The one where he confessed his insecurities, and she knew this night was a test of courage. For both of them. When they arrived, Liam froze at the entrance, the crowd and the lights overwhelming him. He glanced at Emma, panic in his eyes. "Just one step at a time," she whispered, brushing her hand lightly against his shoulder. "I'm right here." He nodded, taking a shaky breath, and together they stepped inside. The music was loud, but not uncomfortably so. Laughter and chatter filled the gym, and couples danced across the floor, their movements confident and carefree. Liam stayed close to Emma, letting her presence ground him. He smiled nervously, but it was a real smile, one that came from trust and the safety of her support. As they moved further in, Emma noticed subtle changes in him. The way he held himself, shoulders slightly straighter, eyes searching less nervously, and a hint of curiosity and bravery emerging. She felt a swell of pride. This was the Liam she knew existed. The one who had been hidden beneath layers of self-doubt throughout the night. Emma made it her quiet mission to help him feel included. When classmates complimented him on his outfit, she saw his face light up, a mixture of disbelief and pride. When someone laughed at one of his jokes, he beamed. It was clear that each small moment of validation was building his confidence, step by step. They danced to slower songs, awkwardly at first, laughing when Liam tripped over his own feet. Emma guided him with gentle patience, and soon the laughter became a shared joy, an unspoken bond forming between them. Liam's nervous energy was slowly transforming into excitement, and Emma felt the warmth of connection. Something deeper than friendship but still undefined, stirring in her chest. Later, they sat at a quiet corner table away from the crowd, sipping water and catching their breath. Liam looked at her, eyes glistening with emotion, and spoke softly. "Emma, I don't know how to thank you. Not just for tonight, but for everything. You've made me feel like I belong, like I'm not invisible." Emma's heart skipped a beat. She squeezed his hand gently. "You've always belonged, Liam. You just didn't see it yet. And you're not invisible. You're here, you're real, and you matter." He let out a small laugh, half shy, half relieved. "You sound like a motivational poster." Emma laughed, shaking her head. "Maybe, but you need reminders sometimes. You can't always see your own worth, Liam. That's why we have people we trust to tell us." He stared at her for a moment, something unreadable in his expression. Then he whispered almost to himself, "I think I like you. More than just as a sister. I mean, I know you're my stepsister." But Emma's eyes widened, her pulse quickening. She wasn't sure how to respond. She felt something too, a warmth and tenderness that she hadn't expected. But the reality of family ties, the fear of misunderstanding, made her hesitate. She gave his hand a gentle squeeze in return, a silent acknowledgement of what he had just said without words. The lights flickered and the music changed abruptly. The moment passed, leaving them sitting side by side, hearts beating faster, emotions tangled and unspoken. Neither knew what the other truly felt, but both sensed a shift, a deepening of the bond they shared. The rest of the night passed in a blur of laughter, dancing, and small conversations. Emma guided Liam when he needed reassurance and stepped back when he showed signs of courage, letting him feel the satisfaction of his own bravery. It was a delicate balance, one that strengthened their trust and connection. Liam's insecurities were still there, yes, but they no longer defined him. He was beginning to see himself as someone capable, someone worthy. As the dance drew to a close, Emma and Liam walked outside under the cool night sky. The stars were bright, scattered across the black canvas, and the quiet of the night felt like a safe cocoon around them. They were both exhausted physically and emotionally. Yet a quiet exhilaration lingered. I never thought I could do that, Liam admitted, his voice soft, almost in awe. I mean, I actually felt confident for a little while. And it was fun. Emma smiled, feeling a mixture of pride and affection. See, you just needed to believe in yourself. And having someone by your side helps. He looked at her, eyes lingering as if trying to read her thoughts. Emma, tonight, I felt like I could be myself. And not just a version of myself I hide from everyone else. I felt seen, and I think I like you. A lot. Emma's breath caught. She had felt it too. The warmth, the tenderness, the fluttering in her chest whenever he looked at her like that. But the complexity of the moment, the lines of family, the fear of stepping too far made her hesitate. Yet she didn't pull away. She simply squeezed his hand and smiled softly, letting him feel her care, her affection. Without rushing or overstepping, they walked home in quiet companionship. Hand in hand, not as lovers, not just as siblings, but as two people who had shared a journey of vulnerability, trust, and quiet courage. The night had revealed emotions neither had expected, and both understood that their relationship had shifted in ways they didn't fully understand yet. Back at the house, they paused at the front door. Liam looked at her, eyes full of gratitude and something softer, something tender. Emma, thanks for everything. I don't think I could have done any of this without you, she smiled, brushing his hair back gently. You did all the hard work, Liam. I just reminded you of what you already had. But I'm glad I was here. He hesitated, then said quietly, I hope this doesn't make things awkward between us. I needed to tell you. Emma shook her head. No awkwardness. Just honesty. And I feel something too. But we'll figure it out slowly. There's no rush. They lingered for a moment, a soft silence filled with shared understanding and unspoken emotions. Then Liam finally nodded and stepped inside, leaving Emma standing at the door. Feeling a warmth she couldn't quite name, but a hope she recognized immediately. The night had tested Liam's courage, built his confidence, and revealed the tender emotions growing between them. Emma had become someone he could rely on completely, someone who saw him, understood him, and valued him. And in return, Emma had discovered a new depth of care for him, a gentle, protective, and quietly romantic feeling that had been building since that first porch conversation, as she closed the door behind him. Emma knew this was only the beginning. Their journey together was far from over. There would be challenges, misunderstandings, and moments of doubt. But the bond they had formed, the trust, the vulnerability, the quiet affection was strong enough to carry them through anything that night. Under the stars, Maplewood felt like a safe place for both of them, a place where insecurities could be faced, emotions could be shared, and love, gentle, slow, and complicated, could grow quietly in the spaces between family, trust, and understanding, and somewhere deep inside. Both of them knew that this night had changed everything. Liam had faced his fears. Emma had supported him with unwavering care. And together they had discovered something precious. The courage to feel, the courage to trust, and the courage to hope for more than they had ever dared to imagine.